Hi guys, this is Christy Fulk with Create with Christy. I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator in the US. Well, I am back with another showcase of a suite from the September to December mini catalog from Stampin' Up. This one is going to be the Season of Elegance suite, and I'll show you everything that comes in the suite just a minute. But first off, I want to show you the card. This is what I'm going to teach you how to make after I show you everything that's in the suite. And I even did some embossing on these trees so there's some neat texture to them. So when you give this card to somebody, they're going to love just putting their hands over it because it feels so cool with all the texture on it. So if you want to make this along with me, just look down the video description below, click on the blog post link, and you'll find the paper dimensions, the supply list, everything you need to make this card, and then you can come back and make the card with me. Okay, let's get started. And like I told you, the first thing I want to do is show you everything that's in the Season of Elegance suite. You can see some of the paper and stuff. First off, I'm going to show you the bundles. This is actually a mega suite because it has 2 bundles in it. This one is the Peaceful Evergreens, and I'll be using this in the set. And the die set is a little bit bigger than you're normally used to, so it took 2 sheets. When you get our dies, they come taped on some cardboard backing. I always put mine on magnet sheets so I can store them a little better. So those are all the dies in the bundle, plus this stamp set. So that's the Peaceful Evergreens. And the bundle, if you buy these together, you save 10%, and it'll be $59.25 to get the bundle. The next bundle is called Peaceful Season. So you've got a lot of nice greetings. If you noticed when I showed you the Peaceful Evergreens, there are no greetings or sentiments in that set. So this is a nice companion to it. And I love all of these labels. And they fit really good with all the greetings on it. So that is the Peaceful Season, and the whole bundle is $52. Now there is one item number. If you want to get everything I'm showing you in the suite at once, you can just use that. It's like an easy button. Just use that item number, and that will get you everything, and it will include the 10% off bundle prices. So you don't have to worry about whether it's going to cost more. Just doing that suite will give you the 2 bundle prices plus all of this I'm getting ready to show you. This is called the Textured, let's see here, Gold Textured Adhesive-Backed Dots. They're $8, and there are 3 different sizes. So these are the larger ones, the medium, and the small. There's also this gorgeous Painted Trees embossing folder, and this is what I embossed the trees in after I stamped them. I'll show you how to do that here in just a minute. I did not use the ribbon again just because I didn't have room for it because those trees took a lot, but I can't wait to use it because this is gorgeous. Isn't that pretty? It's called Cherry Cobbler and Gold Satin Ribbon, I do believe. Yes. So Cherry and Gold Satin Ribbon. Cherry Cobbler and Gold look so pretty together. I love that. So that is the Cherry Cobbler and Gold Satin Ribbon. And last but not least, the Season of Elegance Specialty Designer Series paper. The reason we put specialty in front of it is because the gold foil that's in it. And this pack is $16.50. It's a 12 by 12 pack. You get, there's 6 double-sided designs. You get 2 of each. So here's this one here. We turn this over, and there's the other side. So one side has the pretty gold foil. The other side has some really neat paint. If you look at that, you can see the painted texture. It looks 3D in person. That's that side. Then we've got this one here. And once again, like I did on my last suite showcase, I'm going to put all of the colors on the screen for you. There's this one here. This is the one I'm using on my card, but instead of using all this big gold, I got my strips from these speckled ends over here. So there are different ways you can use this, but that's how I used it on this one. And then we've got this side, neat texture again. Here's this one. It's a different, you're like, oh, wait a minute. Wasn't there one that color with the gold? The gold is in different shapes on this one. It's actually, they're fatter strips than the other one. And that one looks more painted on. So all of the designs are different. And we've got this one, and I think this is pretty in pink. Not pretty pink, I mean, pretty peacock. There we go. I do believe. Ooh, that's neat. I like that too. And this is the last one right here with this side. So that is everything that's in the Season of Elegance suite. Tell you what, I will even put a link to the suite down in the video description for you. That way, make it easier for you to find it, and you see everything that comes in it again there in my online store. Okay, you've seen the suite. Let's get ready to start making the card. Okay, first off, from the Peaceful Evergreens stamp set, you're going to need all 3 tree stamps. You're going to need this little pretty tree line. And I do believe that that's everything you need from the stamp set. And then from the dies, we don't need any of these, but we do need these 3 here that die cut the big pine trees. And those are all the dies that you need from this bundle. From the Peaceful Season, you're going to need the stamp that's Mary. It's a little small one. Let's see if I can find it here. There we go. So just get the one that says Mary. And then I'm going to need, there are 2 banners that are similar. I want this smaller one here. And that is, well, I almost said that's the only die. No, we need this one too. This one will die cut Christmas. I'm going to be die cutting that out of foil. It's going to look so pretty. So that's everything from this bundle that you need. And I'm also using the Falling Snow. This is a big background stamp that's in the September to December mini catalog. So this is another stamp I'll be using. Okay, now I'm going to get some stamping done. If you went and cut all your cardstock, this is the largest one that you cut. This is 5 1/4 by 4 1/2. I'm using my Mossy Meadow ink pad. I'm going to stamp all 3 of these trees. When the stamps are bigger, a lot of times I will turn them over and then bring the ink pad to them. It just makes it easier for me to see where I've got, make sure that I've got all inked up. Now, this is a cling stamp set, as you can see, red rubber, but I'm going to use my Stampin' Pierce mat because this is a little more detailed. I just want to make sure I get all of the color in there. So there's the big one. Here's the tall, skinny one. Get this one inked up. And I'm going to stamp this one. No, actually, I'm going to stamp this one on the other end. That's right. It's been a while since I've made this card. Hold that down for a few seconds. That one inked up a little bit better, but I still like the light look to that. Almost looks like it's got some snow to it. Now I'm going to grab the small tree. Get that inked up. And I'm going to do this one like this. This is going to help me with die cutting later. I can put all those dies on without them overlapping each other. So that's all you need to stamp on this one. Now I'm grabbing the inside of the card. This is 4 by 5 1/4. I'm going to grab that tree line, and I'm going to use my Mossy Meadow again. Ink this up. Actually, I need some paper underneath that. I'm going to grab a scrap piece. Almost forgot because I don't want to get ink on my Stampin' Pierce mat. So I'm going to ink this up again one more time just to make sure it didn't start to dry up on me. I'm going to go off the sides, the bottom and the side of the cardstock on purpose. There we go. Going to ink it up again. Put them right next to each other. If they overlap a little bit, that is okay. There we go. So now I've got a nice tree line. There's a nice greeting that you can put on the inside of this card. So I'm going to grab my Cherry Cobbler ink pad. And I think I forgot to tell you to get this one out. This one, it says, thinking of you with warm feelings and a wish for all the merriest. So I'm going to ink this up with Cherry Cobbler and stamp that up here at the top. I think I told you just to get the Mary out, so you want to get that stamped out too. So we've got one more thing to stamp. Actually, a couple things. This is the last thing we need to do that we're not going to emboss. We're going to do some heat embossing here in just a minute. This is that big Falling Snow stamp. I'm going to ink it up with Pool Party ink. Definitely want to ink it up this way. Or you can use a brayer. You can definitely put ink on a brayer and get it inked up that way. I'm going to close this up. This is a piece of basic white that is 3 1/2 by 4. I'm going to put it close to the middle here. Okay, it doesn't really matter exactly where you put it. I'm going to grab this paper right here, put it right on top, and then I'm going to rub it. You could also use a brayer. This is just the way I've always done it. But I'm using the paper, that way I can go over past the cardstock, make sure I cover it completely with those snowflakes, and all the ink is going to go on my paper instead of my fingers. So there we've got that neat background. And we've got one more thing to stamp. And we're going to do some embossing. So this is a piece of Cherry Cobbler. It is 3 by 1. And I'm going to grab my Embossing Additions toolkit. This is everything that comes in the kit. You get your Powder Pal, I think is what it's called. Or I can't remember what that's called. This is an embossing buddy. And this is the tweezers that come with it and a brush. So what I'm going to do, first off, I'm going to take this out. This embossing buddy will take any moisture out. You can pounce on it if you want to. I usually just go across here. Takes any moisture out of your cardstock because you don't want that embossing powder to stick on anything but the words. Now I'm going to grab my Versamark pad. I always show that upside down. Here's my Mary. I'm going to get that inked up with the Versamark. And just stamp this near the middle. It doesn't have to be perfect because we are going to die cut it out with that banner that I had you get out a minute ago. And you're not going to be able to see it, but it is definitely there. I'm going to get this out of the way because I don't want this to start to melt on me. I'm going to bring in my Powder Pal. And now I'm going to get out the Metallics Wow embossing powders. It comes in silver, gold, and copper. I'm going to get the gold out. And what this is going to do, I'm just going to sprinkle it over my Mary. Tap it off. I mean, if I have any that I see on the outside, and I do see a little bit, I'm going to take my brush. There's a little bit right here that I don't want. There we go. And now I'm going to take my tweezers. Actually, let's put this to the side. I want to show you how to clean this up. So now I can take this. I'll take my brush. Keep picking up my tweezers. Get all of that powder to go down in there. Take off the little lid here. And then I can tap all of that embossing powder, get it all back in the bottle. Because you don't want to waste that. This will last you forever if you keep putting the embossing powder that you don't use, the excess, put it back in here, and this will last you quite a while. And I'll go ahead and put this back in so it's ready to go for the next one. And if you still have a little embossing powder in here, take a Swiffer sheet, and that will take all of that out for you. Okay, now I'm going to take my trusty tweezers and hold this because I'm going to be using my heat tool. Right here, I'm going to have it run for a couple seconds. That way it heats up. But this makes it so I can hold this without burning my fingers. And now I'm going to put this right on top. I'm going to kind of angle it. Hopefully you can see this. I'm going to keep it in one spot till I start to see the gold get shiny. So you can see at the bottom, the Y and the R, they're starting to get really shiny. When they do, then I start slowly moving it until it's all melted. When it's all melted, you turn it off. You don't want to do it too long. There you go. So hopefully you can see the shine on that. If you do it too long, it could start soaking into the cardstock, and you don't want that to happen. Okay, that is all the stamping we need to do. So let's get our die cutting machine out. Okay, to get our Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine ready for die cutting, you need the base platform, the big fat one, the die plate number 2, and the standard cutting plate number 3. I'm going to grab this one here, and I'm going to die cut all of the trees. There's the short, fatter one, so I'm going to put that in. Make sure you have the image completely fill in that open area of the die. I'm going to put some Post-it tape on here. Here is the big one. Get that image to completely fill it up again. Until I'm kind of having to move it around a little bit. There we go. Now I think I got it all. And then a couple more pieces of Post-it tape here. Okay, now I'm going to get the last tree die. As you can see, I've got them spaced. They're not over. The dies are not overlapping at all, so I'm going to be able to do all these at the same time. Put that Post-it tape on here. If the dies overlap, then something's not going to get cut right, so you definitely don't want those dies to overlap. If you have them too close together, then just die cut them a couple times. Have it run through the machine a couple times, that is. Like do the 2 trees that are the farthest away and do that center one last, and that should work fine. So get the dies off. And there is that one. Just these trees are gorgeous. I love them. Then we've got this one. And last but not least, the beautiful big one. There we go. Now we still got a little more die cutting to do. And these two I should be able to do together. So I'm going to grab, this is a piece. I don't know if you can see this. Oh yeah, you can. This is textured. This is called the Textured Metallic Specialty paper. It's a 12 by 12 pack. There's gold, copper, and silver in that. And this is the gold one. So this is a 4 by 1 inch. And then bring in that Mary again. I'm going to grab the banner. Oops. And I'm going to get that Mary centered. And that looks pretty good. I can tell it's centered left and right. And top and bottom, put some tape on here because I don't want that to move. Then I'm going to grab my Christmas die. If you're nervous about it moving off the foil, you definitely can put tape on it, but I'm not going to worry about it. Just as long as it stays on the paper, I know I'm going to be good. Oop, don't need that. Put this in, and we'll die cut it. Take the tape off. Here's our neat banner. It even cuts little lines in there so it makes it look more 3D. I think that is so cool. Stampin' Up! Is so smart when they make products. They think things through. Okay, oops, get that Christmas. It fell out. Still be careful because I did have that S was kind of stuck and it started to bend on me. So be real careful so you don't tear up anything. It's definitely die cut. It's just like wanting to overlap on the little negative part. There we go. So we've got this, and there's one little bitty piece right here. Make sure you keep that because you want to have that little dot for your eye. Okay, now we need to do some embossing of those trees. I'm going to take off all of these plates. All I want is the base platform. Okay, I'm grabbing my embossing folder, and I'm going to take the large tree, put it down here near the bottom, because up here it's a little bit too narrow. You can actually go all the way to the top if you want to. That'll look just fine. But I'm going to go ahead and go down here at the bottom. It does not line up perfectly. I'm even going to put a little bit of tape right here to hold it just for a little bit. Here is the next one. So take the second largest one, lay it down. I don't want it to overlap with that tree, so I'm going to go up a little bit higher. Put a little one up here. And here's the little one. Let me bring this back over here. And that one can go. And like I said, I still don't want that paper to overlap. So I'm going to bring it down a little bit. Make sure that tree is still, the stamp tree is still within a tree in the folder. Okay. I'll lay these down. Turn it over. I can tell they're all still within the tree. So now the fold is going to go in first. Then I'm going to grab my specialty plate. This is the gray plate that comes with the machine. This is the sandwiches you use for our 3D folders. This out of the way. Take the plate off. And hopefully you're going to see this. I'll take the tape off here. Nice and easy. Sometimes when you end up embossing the tape, you've got to be really careful. Even though this is Post-it tape, there it came off just fine. I didn't want it ripping up my tree. But I'm not sure if it's going to do it justice, but it has a really neat texture to it. You might be able to see it a little better that way. So all three of these are like that. So I'm going to take this one off. Take the tape off carefully. And we've got that one all embossed. And like I said, it doesn't matter if it's not completely lined up. You just want to make sure that it's within the tree in the embossing folder. Take this one off carefully. And there we go. That one's ready to go. So that is everything we need to do the die cutting machine. So put it away and let's finish the card. Okay, now I want you to get the card base. We're going to get it ready. This is 5.5 by 8.5 piece of cherry cobbler. I'm going to line those corners up. Grab my bone folder. And there we go. Now put this to the side, but you want the fold to be on the left. Now I'm getting a piece of Mossy Meadow. It's 4 by 5.25. And then I'm going to grab 2 pieces of that paper I showed you, which one I used it from in that Season of Elegance Specialty paper, DSP. They're 3 by 3/4 inch. So that's what both of these are. One is going to go on the top, one's going to go on the bottom. So I'm going to grab my seal, turn this over, get my adhesive on here. Oop, get it going again. Oops. Sometimes you have to roll it up a little more. Oh, I see what's happening. I've got a little glue sticking. There we go. Wasn't wanting to turn because of that. That happens every once in a while, but it's an easy fix. Now I'm going to put this near the bottom, but it's going to be centered in the middle, left and right. So leave about 1/4 inch, between 1/8 inch and 1/4 inch down here at the bottom. I'm going to do the same with this one on the top. Now for me, I can see a little better if I turn this over, so I'm going to go ahead and turn it over. Center it left and right again. Have that about 1/4 to 1/8 inch. That looks lined up pretty good. I'm kind of looking at the sides here. I think that's fine. They're far enough apart. If they're not lined up perfectly, nobody's going to know the difference. So now I'm going to grab that snowflake piece, and I'm going to turn this over, get adhesive on it, like so. This will go right in the center. Now you can see why it doesn't matter if the two cherry cobbler DSP pieces aren't lined up perfectly, because you can't tell the difference once you put this on. There we go. So that is ready to go. And let's see, we can go ahead and put this on the card base. So I'm going to turn this over. There we go. Didn't want to get adhesive on that one corner for some reason. Now this is going to go right in the center. Okay. Now I'm going to grab a silicone mat. I'm going to grab my die cut Christmas. Right here, I'm going to turn it over. Take my multi-purpose glue. You could also use our adhesive sheets. That would be just, this was done by a 4x1" piece of the foil. You could do a 4x1" piece of the adhesive sheet and take a paper backing off one side, attach it to the back of the foil, then die cut it, and then you'll have a sticker. But I'm just putting little dots of multi-purpose glue, and I can kind of smear those dots just a little bit with a tip. I'm not squeezing my glue bottle anymore, but it kind of spreads out the glue. That's looking pretty good. If I have any globs, you can spread it out some more. If there's no place to spread it, then you can turn this over and take some of the excess glue off on your silicone mat. I'm going to bring this in. This is going to go right along the bottom. I'm lining the bottom of the Christmas with the bottom of the DSP. So I'm going to hold on to the middle here and see if I've got this in the center. Oop, my finger's sticking to my C. Now the C goes a little bit longer, goes down farther, so I am making sure that the rest of the letters are lined up with the bottom of that DSP. Then I can push these down. There we go. That looks good. You always want to put pressure on it with the glue. That helps the glue stick or soak into the cardstock and stick a little better for you. Okay, now I'm going to grab that little Mary. I'm going to use black dimensionals because this is kind of a dark card base. I'm going to use my small, and also when you buy the black dimensionals, you also get mini and the regular size dimensionals in the same pack, which is nice. So I'm going to put one each end here, and just another one here in the middle for safe measure. I could have also put some here at the bottom, but I think just putting them there in the middle will be fine. I'm going to take the paper backings off. Just kind of put the paper piercer in at an angle and scoop up those paper. Oop, it didn't work very well that time. Took them off for me good. Now I'm going to put the Mary on here. Oh, I forgot my little I. I'm going to put this right above the T. Make sure it's straight before I push it down and it's in the center. I think I'm going to move it over just a little bit to the right. That's better. I'm making sure this part is what's straight. Now I'm going to push that down. I need to find my little I. If you don't want to mess with it, it looks okay without it. But here's my little I. I'm going to go ahead and turn this over. You know what? It's probably easier to put a little dot where I know I'm going to put my little dot of glue right here on the card base. That's actually easier. I'm going to turn my foil back over. If I can get a hold of it. It's pretty small. Now I'm going to take my Take Your Pick tool. I'm going to pick it up and put it right on top of the glue and then hold it down for a few seconds. And now that eye is stuck. So it's a lot easier to put on the card base rather than putting the glue on there, because then you can use this and it just makes it a little easier. Okay, that is on. I'm going to grab those trees. We'll put them right here. And that's the order I'm going to put them in. My dark one, my big one though, I'm going to be putting on with dimensionals. So I'm going to grab the black, the full ones. See if I have enough here. Put one at the top, a couple down here on the bottom. Oop, I think I have just enough. Even if I ran out, I could take some off the sides, but I've got one more here. I'll put that one in the middle, and that should be just fine. Now I'm going to, and I didn't put them right on the edges, and you'll see why, especially down here at the bottom. I think it's easier to attach the middle one first. So scoop those paper backings off. It's going to go right above my Mary. I'm even going to have it overlap the top of the banner just a little bit. And I'm just going to tap it just a little bit so it doesn't move. These two are just going to get regular adhesive. So I'll put some adhesive here. You could definitely use the multi-purpose glue if you want to. A little sticky there. I'm probably putting a little more on than I need to just because this is embossed. Bring this down. This is going to get tucked in. It's going to be a little bit higher than, see, I'm raising it up a little bit. Not a lot. I'm going to bring it down just a little bit more. There we go. Make sure it's okay if it goes over the mossy metal layer. Just don't have it go past the fold. I'm going to not put it down all the way in case I want to move it. Then this one's going to go down here. And I like that. I want to pop up this a little bit more so it looks like it's not quite going underneath. Yeah, I was covering up that tree. I want it to go under. There we go. I want my big one to be showing a little better. There we go. Now they're all down. So now I'll push them all down. Almost done with the front, but we need to get that bling out. And I decided not to use any of the large ones this time. I'm just going to use the medium and the small ones. I'm going to grab one of the medium ones. And I'm going to put it down here. And then two small ones. I think I'm going to put one right here. It kind of turned on me. Oops. Sometimes that happens. Don't want any putty on there. There we go. Putty comes off really easy, so don't worry if that happens to you. I'm going to grab another small one and put it right here. And last but not least, we need to finish the inside. So let's grab that piece that we did a minute ago. Put some adhesive on it. Definitely in the corners. And then it's going to go right here on the inside of the card. There we go. So there's the inside and there's the outside. So I hope you enjoyed my first card with the Season of Elegance Suite. And if you want to stamp along with me again, make sure you click that subscribe button below. And then when the little bell icon pops up, select all. That way YouTube will notify you every time I upload a video and you won't miss anything. And I also have weekly lives on Thursdays, different things like that. So I'd love to see you in my lives too. I don't really see you, of course, but I love to comment back and forth with everybody that watches. It's a lot of fun. Now, if you live in the United States and do not have a demonstrator of your own, I would love to be yours. And I'd love to send out your first set of catalogs to you for free. This is the annual catalog that's going on right now. And this is the September to December mini I was telling you about at the beginning. This is what the suite is in. And there are all a bunch of other Christmas and fall products, inside, and winter. So if you're interested in that, click that contact me link below and give me your mailing address and I'll get these mailed out to you right away. There's the card one more time. So I hope you had fun. I know I had fun making this. And I will see you in the next video. Bye, guys.